What's up, Jooba people? So today we're doing major 7 chords, and major 7 chords can be used by beginners as well as advanced players. It's used in a lot of jazz music, but also in indie music, lo-fi. Lo-fi kind of comes from jazz, and it sounds like this. Let me show you. Or like this. Or like this. Or you could use it. Or like in math rock kind of style. Like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. That wasn't so math rock, but you get the idea. You could use it in like a kind of pop, romantic pop kind of thing. So there are really easy major 7 chords like this F major 7, which most people just know is an easy F, and this easy C major 7, or this one, used in Zombie. It's kind of a sad, really relaxed chord, very beautiful. Okay, so the background of the song is used in these styles of music. Now the construction of the chord is the first thing that we want to look at. So it's a basic major chord, hence the name major, and it has a 7th note added to the chord. Okay, so just basically like an extension of the chord. So if I was to play a C major scale, a C chord, and I was to add the 7th note of the C scale, which is a B, then I get this chord. So if I add the B note, I get the C major 7 chord. Same thing if I have a G chord and I want to add the 7th note of the G. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's an F sharp. I'm going to play the F sharp at the bottom here, inside the G, and I have a G major 7 chord. So you basically take the 1, 3, 5, that's a basic major chord which we already know, and then you take the 7th note of the scale and just add it inside the chord. You have a major 7 chord. Okay, so a C major 7 chord would be C, E, G. That's the 1, 3, 5, and then B is the 7th note. Okay. Now, where can you use it? Where in the key? So if let's say I'm playing in a song and I'm doing like G, C, E minor, D. Which chord can I make a major 7 chord? Now you can only make the 1 and the 4 chord a major 7 chord inside a major key. Okay, that's very important. So 1 and a 4 chords in the key of G are G and C. So I can use a G major 7, C major 7, and an E minor, but I can't use a D major 7. It immediately sounds odd, right? It doesn't work, because if I were to create a D major 7, it would have the 7th note of the D in that note, and that note is not inside of the G scale. That's why you can't have a D major 7 chord in the key of G. Now that's the rule. If you want to stay playing in key, but sometimes you want to go out of key or you want to change key, then obviously it doesn't apply. But for now, the 1 and 4 chords in a major key can be made a major 7 chord, and it will sound beautiful in almost any context. Okay, the 3 and 6 chord in a minor key can be played as a major 7. Now relatively that's the same thing. So for instance, if I was in the key of E minor, then I can use the 3rd chord, G major 7, and the 6th chord, which is a C major 7. So the 3 and the 6th chord in a minor key, the 1 and the 4 chords in a major key. Generally, you'll mainly be thinking in terms of major keys. So you want to think of the 1 and the 4 chord as being the major 7 chords. So for example, in the key of G, you can use G major 7 and C major 7. I just went through that. In the key of A minor, what's the 3rd chord in A minor? 1, 2, 3, C. So you could use going to go through a couple of example progressions pretty soon. But yeah, let me just show you some basic chord shapes that you can start using. Okay, so the first one is a D major 7. I like to play it with one finger. Alternatively, you could play it with 3. So this is a D, it's a D major 7. Okay, and you can play like... That's from Sixpence None the Richer, Kiss Me. I'm going to go to D7. So D7 and D major 7 is not the same thing, just remember that. Okay, but D major 7, it works really nice. Okay, F major 7 is like a C chord, just take down these 2 fingers. C major 7 is like a C, you just take off the index finger. Now I very often teach it like a C major 7 over G, with a G in the bass. Okay, so just like an A minor shape moved up here. Alright, and then we move on, we've got an A major 7, so if you have A chord, let's add the 7th, it makes it a major 7. Oh, that's beautiful. So next time you have a progression like E, going to A. Sounds really beautiful, I think. E major 7, this is not used that often, but... And especially if you have a capo added, you could make this sound really nice. That's an E major 7 chord. G major 7. It with the pinky there and then just add this one. This is used in the song Iris. Very, very beautiful chord. You could also play it like this with just the second finger at the top and index finger here. Then you have that nice open B string, which is nice. Okay, that's it for our open position major 7 chords. Now let's use those to play a couple of progressions. Now, I always believe when you're learning theory to really put into practice what you're learning, so that's really more important than actually learning what it does. So let's do the first progression. I'm just going to do it with this plain down strum. And then we go to D major 7, to E minor, now to G major 7. Now just remember this is in the key of D, so that's their 1 chord and this is your 4 chord. That's why they can be like that. Let's play with a picking pattern, just P-I-M-I. Now I changed really quickly, but you can practice it changing just like once every bar or something like that. And then go to D major 7. A. Now this progression is in the key of A, because we can see we've got an A major 7 chord, so that's our 1, and then this is our 4. Okay, why is this not in the key of D? Because of the A major 7 chord, you can see that, and because it's starting on A, so A kind of is established as the tonal center. Okay, G major, let's do this progression. We're in the key of G, this is our 1, and this is our 4. Okay, let's go. Very, very beautiful sounds. Okay, I'm not going to go over all the other examples. You can download it and play through them. They all sound really good. Okay, now we're going to go do, this is more for the more intermediate, beginner, late beginner, and advanced students. So these are movable major 7 shapes. So these are shapes just like scales that you can, movable scale shapes that you can put anywhere on the fretboard and they will make you a major 7 chord. So if I take this little shape there and I put it on the G, then it makes a G major 7 chord. Now a question that you might have, I mean this is G major, this is G sharp major 7, this is A major 7. Now because there are only 3 notes, how can I be playing the 1, 3, 5 and 7 of the chord? Now that becomes with omitting certain notes of the chord. Now the first note that you can omit is the fifth. So in this example, this is my root note. That's my third. Remember we did intervals, we were playing dyads like that. And then I just used a new word there, dyads. Now dyads are another name for 2-note chords. Okay, it's just a short name. It's like triads, 3-note chord, dyads, 2-note chords. And then 1-note chords are not chords, they're notes. so we got our 1, 3, and our major 7 over here. So we're omitting the 5th note, which you can do because the 5th note is not that important. Okay, so we just got 3 notes here. Now sometimes you'll see in this shape, I omitted the 3, so that's there. The 3 would usually be over there, but now I'm replacing that with a 5. So it's like, so I've got the 1, the 5, and the major 7. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 5, major 7. Now this you would technically write as major 7, and then in brackets write no 3. So you would write like no 3, right? But for now I just call it a major 7. You don't have to write the no 3. The reason why you don't have to have a 3 in this chord is because the major 7 kind of makes it sound really majory with the 5. I don't know why, but it makes it sound like a very nice major chord. Okay, so these movable shapes you can check out. I'll quickly go through all of them. Let's start with this major 7. Going to this major 7. So that's G major 7, A major 7, B major 7. Now these chords are all going to sound the same. This is the fullest kind of shape. You have to kind of play a little bit of fingerstyle here to play these shapes, otherwise you have to mute the strings. Now these shapes are ones with the root note on the A string, so this will be a C major 7. It's the same shape as you did with the G, right? So there's G major 7 to C major 7. You could also play it like this. C major 7, F major 7. Just combine the root E shape. We'll get to the exercises in a second. This is another major 7 shape. And here's the full shape. C major 7, D major 7. Now that little note over there is just like put in parentheses because you can add it by barring with your index finger. Across there. Okay, so there we go. That's our major 7 chords. I hope you enjoyed it. I will now go through the progressions that we should practice. G major 7 to C major 7. So you could do that with a bunch of ways you could go. A flat major 7, so A flat is over here, to D flat major 7. That note's a D, just putting my shape down there. Tons of ways you could play it. I'm just showed you a few examples and you can go through the rest and see if you should shoot me a mail if you're not comfortable with this and you want to just ask me some questions about how to apply this, But you can apply it in any song. Just remember, you need to know what are the 1-4 chords inside of a key, and then you can put your major 7 chords instead of using just normal major chords. Cheers. Bye.